Okay, let's call the meeting to order. First thing we have is item number 42, Mr. Patel. Okay. Have a seat.
Thank you.
Okay, you currently have a license?
Yeah. Just for Express Pantry, Sim Coupa LLC.
Yeah.
And the new owner getting like Sim Courier Coupa.
Oh, okay, I see.
So,
Okay, so basically it's a new owner?
Yeah.
Okay. And did I see in there that you do 50% alcohol sales and 40-some food?
Yeah, like, we just add the liquor. Before that we had like a convenience store. So we just recently add the liquor. So still it's like
basically a liquor store that has food.
Yeah.
So,
Mr. Chair,
hold on a minute.
you currently have a liquor license.
Yeah, yeah.
So why do you want another one?
No,
no
that's
changing.
they're changing the
It's a
owner.
new
So,
ownership.
okay, new ownership. Then what happened to the old one? Was it surrendered?
No, not yet. Because we just apply and if we approve then we
So-
surrender.
But we can't approve one license and we can't have two licenses
it's
approved
subject
to
to-
one place.
I can't issue a license until they
Until-
surrender.
Yeah.
So you can grant it, but I can.
And Mr. Chair, isn't it cheaper to do a transfer of a license and apply for a new one?
All right.
Not much different.
I don't think there's any difference.
I just think you'd save money by transferring the license, but
Well, hold on, wait.
Mr. Chair, I don't understand. Are you the old owner or are you the new owner?
The old owner, but I still work over there as
Okay.
an agent. I apply,
Okay, so somebody new bought it,
Yeah.
you're from you,
Right.
and you're working for him as his agent.
Yes.
Okay, so my question was gonna be, does the new owner familiar with all the laws? You can only buy from licensed wholesalers,
Yeah.
closing times, carding people, don't serve drunks, all that
Right.
stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
Good. Move approval.
Second, or subject to necessary requirements.
Yeah, subject to necessary requirements.
Yeah, I think that's what we did last time though, too.
Yeah.
It's just subject to necessary requirements.
Yeah,
One of them is
requirements is the only
the surrendering of the
requirement.
license.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so, is there any further discussion on this? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Michael Hottinger. Okay, we have items 39, 40, and 41. First we have music license.
hi.
Hi. What are you planning on having there?
Just beer and wine.
No, as far as the music license application, instrumental music.
You know, I thought perhaps a jazz guitarist, maybe, if having a peanut butter and jelly jam session.
Oh,
That kind of thing.
open jam.
That sounds like fun.
Just quiet, acoustic. I don't like loud music.
So,
Actually, we're only open till 4:30 every
right,
day. On Wednesdays, we go till 6.
I know that.
We've gotten some requests from people that, we've got a very unique venue that may want to have private events, parties, that kind of thing, that we would like to serve a beer and a wine at.
Mr. Chair?
Hold on, Waggle.
I apologize, I don't have your business plan in front of me, but if you're going to do that, make sure that's reflected in the business plan. I think currently you probably have it with your current existing hours, but it's right on the business plan application, the hours of operation. Oh, yeah, oh, you have the full hours, 7 AM to 1 AM.
Yeah.
So that'd be the latest you would be open, would be
Yeah.
1 AM.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
okay,
got it.
especially for a private party, I
Yeah.
get that. And then I have a question, we got an email regarding a class, so he's applying for beer only, beer and wine only. So, but we have, apparently we're up against the beer quota, did I understand that
Correct.
correctly?
Yes, I understand.
So,
Exceeds a quarter.
yeah, but, so we wouldn't be able to approve this, there would have to be a public hearing on that, I think, do you understand all that, Mike? Yeah,
Well, I do not.
okay. Well, it's gonna be another $100 too.
Okay.
Well, and my thinking is, I mean, we wouldn't be able to approve this, what if you just applied for the full combination B for beer, wine, and liquor also? We're not gonna make you serve liquor, I believe we're still under quota on those. And that way, if you wanted to do a Bloody Mary with peanut butter in it, you could if occasionally,
Sandwich on
well,
the end
I'm, yeah, well, I guess I don't
There's
know. I
crazier
don't know.
things out there.
I think, you know, the operator's taking a kind of a semi-empty spot and he's doing good stuff there. I think most of us have been there. Yeah, but, I guess I don't know why you're limiting it to beer and wine only.
I was told that was available, so that's
Yeah,
why I did
Yeah,
that.
yeah, but I
So-
think we're still under quota
Maybe somebody took them before.
on combinations and the full combinations.
Are we?
I'll have to check on the full combinations, but yes, we are at quota
Class
for the
B.
Class B
Yeah,
beer.
yeah.
The
What
Class
does
C
that-
wine, we're
what would
fine
that
with.
involve? I
Well,
mean,
essentially
redoing
the same
this-
thing. Well, you probably have to check one more box and write a little slightly bigger check. You know, to add liquor in, or, you know, but, I guess since we're at quota on the B beer right now, all we'd be able to approve today is the wine only.
I wouldn't, I wouldn't do one without the other, you
Yeah,
know,
no.
it's-
Yeah.
It's Milwaukee, people wanna have a beer even if it's
No.
with a peanut butter and jelly
Yeah.
sandwich, you know?
Alright.
So,
I guess I would've liked to have known that before I
Yeah.
wrote the check,
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Well, maybe we can
well,
make a motion to apply the amount that you've paid so far to.
do an amended application for a combination
Well,
B.
we can do that now, or we can just do it when he files the other application.
Why don't we just do it now?
Has to be a check.
I don't necessarily think you need to make a motion to
Yeah.
transfer that.
Yeah, or we can give direction to the
Yeah,
clerk.
the ordinance
Yeah.
already gives the clerk the discretion to do it. You've already indicated your
All right. Okay.
meaning on it.
Are you interested in a full license?
Sure. What's the difference in cost?
It'll be-
$600.
Yeah, 600 versus I don't know, 200. How much? is-
100 for the Class C wine plus 100 for the Class B
Right.
beer that you paid.
So it's 600 versus 200 a
So
year.
I'd owe you 400.
150 plus
Correct.
publication.
This year, 600 next year.
Correct.
Yeah,
But the new year starts.
And then July 1. Well,
July 1,
are you,
yeah.
you're looking for July 1 license, or is this a this year license? This is,
This is a 17-18.
I haven't been involved in the license, so
okay,
forgive
because
me.
our
I can
licenses
ask
expire
questions
on
if you'd
June
like.
30th.
Okay,
So whatever you pay now is gonna be good till July 1st, and you'll have to reapply real soon for the new one on July 1st.
okay.
If you gotta do the math, I would assume, on whether you think it's worth your while.
I would, I mean, can I have this money apply to that if I held off till
I would
July 1?
If you want to wait till July 1, yeah, that
Yeah,
money.
Yeah, there's
yeah.
no reason I would want, this is not really important.
Okay.
It really isn't.
Um,
I just wanna be able to have private parties and have people have fun
Yeah.
and, you know, enjoy a nice space.
Okay.
Mr. Chair?
Alderman
I'm
Weigel?
gonna ask the questions we ask of new applicants all the time.
Okay.
So you have history in this business?
No,
Alcohol?
no, I've
Are you
got 2.5
familiar
weeks.
Yeah,
Do you
no.
consider that?
No, I'm talking about the alcohol business.
No.
You're familiar with all the ordinances involved, you have to have a licensed bartender on the
Yeah.
premises all the time, you can only buy from licensed wholesalers, you can't serve, so essentially anytime you're open, if somebody wants to buy a beer, there's gotta be somebody there with a license.
Right.
Whether it's you or somebody else, don't serve drunks, when there's a problem, these are all bar speeches,
I
obviously.
get it, yeah,
Yeah, but
yeah.
I don't think anybody's anticipating a problem there.
Okay, so, 40 and 41, the motion
just
to
gonna-
place and file?
Yeah, so moved.
Second.
So do I have to come back here and do this again?
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah,
no, we probably will
Talk to
call
me.
you in,
Okay.
I'll help you out with
yeah,
that.
we probably would call you
You got the speech part of it.
Yeah.
Any further,
in. I'll
say
come
what
down
you
and buy
want.
peanut butter sandwich.
I appreciate it. We'll talk.
any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Then we have 39, which was the instrumental license. We have a motion.
Move approval.
No, let's hold that also, because we don't wanna approve, we can't approve license without the alcohol.
A music license?
Is that true?
It's
it's
a instrumental music application,
as well.
and it's a 20.
We can hold it. It's not
Yeah,
a
let's
big
hold
deal.
it, cause he's,
You wanna hold, we can.
Mike, you're not doing music before July 1st either, correct? No. Okay.
I might sing a little.
Okay, then,
Move to place that on file in 39.
Second,
39 through 40.
he's already applied for it. We're just gonna hold it.
yeah,
He said he's not coming in until July 1.
And this
The-
is for
I'll-
17, 18?
yeah.
Yeah, so hold that one, the other
Okay.
two,
Okay.
you're not taking action.
Well,
He's gonna need an 18, 19 to apply for.
yeah, this is
It's
not
moved.
good, so,
It's not good.
so, Mike, maybe the motion to place and file?
Yeah.
Second,
All right. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Okay, then we have, number 20, an ordinance relating to massage parlors.
Move approval.
I'll second it.
Oh, sorry. Okay, any further discussion on this?
Mr. Chair,
Any discussion at all on this?
Mr. Chair,
Oh,
we had a group of people, professionals from the trades here like 2 weeks ago on this.
Mhm.
Did we get their answers, their questions answered
That night.
that night? Okay.
Okay,
That's why you haven't heard back from them.
Yeah, I was wondering, nothing against the assembled people, but the,
All right, so yeah, and then further discussion, what this is doing is we had a moratorium and we're removing this moratorium. Is that correct? Or,
Mr. Chair,
Not quite.
there was
Alright.
some, I was gonna say, I could explain it.
yeah,
Do the attorney if you want to.
Yeah, this is a the 1970 vintage massage parlor ordinance that we've kept on the books, even though the state law changed a number of years back, basically prohibiting municipalities from regulating massage therapy, because the state theoretically, they license it now, but they don't regulate it. And we've left it on the books just in case someone came in unlicensed by the state. And instead, what we did, probably October-ish, I wanna say, of last year, was created an ordinance which made it, imposed a penalty for if you operated massage without the state permit. So we're not doing what the state prohibits, we're penalizing if you don't get your state permit. Making this null and void, and then in the interim, as we started to do that, someone got overeager and started trying to enforce this ordinance, which we've said now for 10 years is not enforceable. So now we're just getting rid of it, because we have an enforcement mechanism in the one we passed in October.
very good.
any further
That's what I was
discussion?
gonna say.
Well said.
Yeah, well said. Thank you.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 29.
Move approval subject to any necessary requirements.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Then we have 30. Let's just do 30 first, because that's the,
Move to place on file.
second.
any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, then we have 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, now 36, no, 35 is the last one. I'm sorry, and 37.
Move to place on file.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries, and we have 36 and 38, we're gonna be calling those in. So we'll just hold these until they, on the reports, until they, calling in front of us. Okay?
Move to adjourn?
Second.
Third.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
All right, and the Administration and Finance Committee will come to order. All 5 members are present. Item 6, a resolution relative to accepting a sole source proposal from WTMJ AM
Move approval.
radio. We have a motion from Alderman Weigel
Second.
and a second from Alderman May. Is there any discussion?
Can we just be better to do the talent on
That's no fair behind his back.
that? I'll make sure you're watching.
Any legitimate discussion?
Yes.
Oh, sorry, Alderman Rowe. Sorry.
Where does that $640 entertainment allowance go to?
I believe that is referencing something we can get free tickets and things like
Right.
that. We've been using that for employee recognition
Okay.
events and things like that.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Item 7, a resolution relative to approving the 2017 Consolidated Annual Performance and Evaluation Report.
Move approval.
Motion
Second.
from Alderman May and a second from Alderman Weigel. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Item 8, a resolution approving an amendment to the Community Development Block Grant Program, fiscal year 2017, Exploit No More Activity.
Move approval.
Motion from Alderman May,
Second.
Second from Alderman Chaplesky. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Item 9, resolution amending the terms and conditions of an economic development loan to Lula May Aesthetic Boutique.
Move approval.
Motion from Alderman Weigel. Second from Alderman May. Discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Item 10, resolution relative
Move
to
for
select.
approval.
Second.
Thank you, sir. And any discussion?
Mr. Chair?
Yep.
During our 6 o'clock meeting, it was mentioned that this cost savings for this would be about $1.46 million. That was for the 12-month period. This is actually going to be an 18-month commitment. So over those 18 months, this should save the city about $2 million. So I just wanted to point that out because the question was asked previously.
Thank you, Alderman May. And so we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, the ayes have it. And then our item from our prior to the council meeting was a communication from the city administrator transmitting the report regarding this whole issue, the post-65 Medicare retiree health options plan. Can I have a motion to place that on file?
So moved.
Second.
The motion is second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Okay. Item 11, resolution amending the terms and conditions of an economic development loan to West Allen Brewing Company. And Mr. Post, I know, has some, it mentioned something, Scott.
This loan is outstanding and overdue. It was granted in August of 2016 for $35,000. To date, we've received 0 payments on it. And then the problem that I have here is section 109 sub 9 of the code, which says no city license or permit shall be issued unless the applicant shall first have paid any outstanding various things, and then or loan paid or doable owed at the time license or permit is to be issued. And this is a licensed business, so under our code, you can't grant them or renew their license if they owe money on a loan, which they do. By amending this thing, if you're going to do this, then what I suggest is we amend 1099 and take loan out of there, because there's no circumstance where we would be able to justify not granting somebody a license because they owe the city money on a loan. If we allow it here, where they've never even attempted to make a payment in a year and a half.
Alderman Weigel.
I don't believe he has a license for us. It's a brewery, he's licensed by the state.
Any licenses that he has.
Any license that he
I mean,
has.
right,
Okay.
this is
Not something
an
I'm
alcohol
trying-
license,
yeah,
right, it's just
okay.
any license.
Yeah, he's got a beer,
Right.
he's got a beer license from the state. So, I think there's also an issue that he might also need some other like a live music license from us for some of the stuff that he's doing there also. I'd like to kind of wrap all that up into this, I guess. And I think the dates may be a little misleading, because I don't think he really opened till June of 17. So the payments wouldn't have started being due, I guess, until after he opened. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know the particulars of it. The letter from Mr. Schloss to him was dated December 6th of 2017 saying, well, and he's got a schedule there, no payments were made commencing in September of 2017, so
Okay.
I assume that.
That was what we were expecting, the
repayments
first
were
payment.
supposed to start
Okay.
September, yeah.
Okay.
So the September, October, November, December, January, February, and March payments have not been received.
Okay.
And Alderman May.
So, yeah, I believe there was an occupancy permit that hasn't fully been granted. I heard there was some sort of permit that was signed permit.
There's a sign permit and they're coming in tomorrow to address it.
Okay. There were a couple other things, so we definitely want to get those
Yeah.
addressed. And can you read that again? So we can't grant a loan, but can we revise the loan conditions that are already there, or what?
No, we can't grant license.
Right.
We can't grant a license.
Right, you can't grant a license if there's an outstanding loan. Now, if you, I don't know what amendment they're offering here, but if the amendment is that they don't owe any past money and the loan is now new, you can accomplish that so that they could be granted licenses and permits going forward. But to do that for them is to do that for everybody, because they've made no attempt to pay, and so who could be worse than that?
It says we can't grant a license, but we wouldn't be granting any license.
No, but you would come new license year if you amend the resolution,
Well-
the loan.
Mr. Chair?
We gotta get to
Okay.
Mr. Schloss. I just made you an Alderman, Patrick. And then we'll get to Alderman Weigel.
The
I
motion.
could never have.
The motion, yeah. Mr. Schloss.
I just wanted to share that, we've been working with this brewery since 2016. It was a program, a business that was very difficult to get off and running. First of all, it's very capital centric. They needed assistance from the city in the sense that we provided a $33,000 loan and then a $50,000 loan guarantee to help leverage the bank investment in the project. So there is a bank that is the primary lender on the items. I've been watching, I get notices from the bank, and there's been some delinquency with the bank, but they've improved. In the last few months, I've seen that dramatically change in terms of the outstanding things that were happening, and I've had meetings with the business and the bank. So they're making positive steps to address their delinquency. One of the things that resulted in the delinquency is that the project went over budget. When they were building, they were required to do different electrical, different plumbing, things that were above the scope that they outlined when they went in for financing, and they had to eat that cost. And it's to the sum of $30,000 or $40,000 extra that went over budget in terms of this brewery. And then when you start brewing, you gotta wait for the beer to sell in order to start making actually more beer, because you gotta have revenue coming in. And that timeline was not as fast as they originally thought. But now they've readapted their business plan a little bit with more private events and nonprofits holding events at the brewery, in which they can their beer sales will help are helping them become more current. I see that they're on a path of progress. Sending them continued delinquency statements from the city, adding on penalties and interest, is not really helpful and conducive to, I think, the business. I think the extra time that they need to make it current, and they are looking, I'll be honest with Attorney Post, they are looking to apply for a liquor license, and to help bring more diversity to the product that they have at the facility. So they've been bringing food trucks in and people having food. They've been having entertainment, and I will look into that. There's some question of whether they need a local license, or is it done by the state in terms of the music license. They're saying their state license allows them to have music at a brewery. I have to look into that. That's news to me. But we're looking at that. We're looking at the signage, the grant of privilege for a projecting sign that is touching the cities right away. We're looking at that, all the issues that were listed today to me. We are looking at those things, and I'm in communication with the brewery on that. So they have provided me sales figures, so we are monitoring that. We went through the loan task force to address the concerns of the delinquency, and the committee recommended that we offer the deferment. And the deferment under this resolution is a 12-month deferment of principal and interest payments, and then the waiver of any outstanding not principal, but penalties and fees that were charged. So that would essentially bring them current.
Yeah, and I think all of us want to see the Westallion succeed. I think the issue, I don't have a problem with what a deferment for 12 months. That'll help them get things going and get back, make a good business of it. And Scott had mentioned in his opening comments very astutely, well, if you want to do this, we need to change the underlying ordinance to remove the word loan, and that's what we need to do, I believe.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
How much? We're in second position on this, correct?
We're in support. Generally, with all our loans, we're very rarely.
So
do we
he's
get a
making
first.
his first mortgage payments, but
Correct.
not ours?
Correct.
Okay. And how much does he have into this game, into this business?
I mean, originally there was $20,000 that they were putting in, maybe 30,000. I don't have the original sources and uses in front of me, but that would be the accurate amount. They did a GoFundMe, you might recall, and then they had some own equity, and then they had an investor.
Has he tried to pay any of his second mortage?
Because
Because he knows he won't get away with it with a bank on a first
resources
mortgage.
haven't been there, but the bank is always in communication with me. I get
Who's the bank?
Waukesha State Bank. They do send me the notices each month if they're late. And then we meet with them every couple months just to make certain that there's progress. I haven't gotten a call saying we're gonna be shutting them down next week, so, this is progress. I see that they're out there selling product. They're having events that have been full. I've been seeing good Facebook reviews, so
Yeah,
I think they
Mr.
just need more time.
Mr. Stiebel and then Alderman May.
Tactic, address all my issues.
Excellent. Alderman May.
All right. First of all, obviously we can't do anything because the ordinance. Second of all, we'll have the debate on whether it's good to take that language out later. I don't want it to be thought that it's a guaranteed thing. We'll take it out because that could have some ramifications on other people and applicants. But I also want to ask a question. Is he up to date on his taxes?
I mean, I've had to look into it. I have not seen it. You mean local taxes?
Mhm.
He rents.
He rents.
Oh, so it's not his issue.
No.
And then I want to mention that the type of the loan this is a CDBG loan. Those are intentionally made for high risk. That way it doesn't impact the city taxpayer. These are HUD loans,
The business
essentially.
wouldn't have happened without the use of CDBG funds.
Exactly. So I mean, they're intentionally put out there so that should they fail, the city induces no risk in some ways. So, I think that's the way we got to go. Get the language in, have the debate on whether it's good or not. I don't think we can have the debate here since it's not before us.
Yep,
But
it's not,
we obviously can't
noticed
act on this
properly.
tonight.
So we'll hold this item. Oh, Alderman Chapleski.
Okay, I just got a question here. They opened up a brewery. My description of a brewery is someone who makes beer and sells it to multiple places. It sounds almost like they just have a bar. They're making beer just for themselves. Are they selling outside?
I mean,
or-
I wouldn't call it a
I
bar
don't-
per se because there's no alcohol. I mean, they brew beer, and I would call it more almost like a beer hall, in the sense that they're having events and then they have their product there for sale.
Is that how you envision it when they first came
I
in?
mean, I think businesses evolve. I mean, you figure out what works and you modify. I mean, they might have been. I mean, there's always peaks and valleys in business, and when the peak of microbrewers are all across Milwaukee here that have been opening, they might have hit that peak or the backside of that peak. But I mean, I've seen some good comments on their beer, so I mean, they know what they're doing. It's just taking more time to evolve as a small business.
Just to be clear, Mr. Chairman, I'm not saying that you can't act on this, because if you wanna act on it and change the terms of their loan, you certainly can. All I'm saying is then going forward, the next time someone comes in here with a loan, you can't deny licenses and permits for it without granting them the same kind of extension, effectively taking loan out of the ordinance. So if you're inclined to do this, then the next step you should be doing is to looking at getting a loan out of there, because if you deny the next person, I don't know on what basis that would be.
Okay. Well, with that in mind, then, is there a motion? Or do we still want to hold this?
Mr. Chair, I prefer we hold. I want to know what the ramifications of that could be for other businesses that may get loans.
So we're, Mr. Chair,
Sure.
so we're instructing the city attorney's office to look into that and come with a recommendation back to this committee and draft an ordinance taking out loan from that, taking the word loan out of that document, out of that
I can
ordinance.
certainly do that and have that in front of you for a discussion item. That would get the item in front of you as a.
That would work.
And, Mr. Chair,
Yes, Alderman Weigel.
is there a fiscal issue with this current loan? If it waits another month, we're not.
We're subordinate, so
Yeah, we're not getting it anyways.
yeah, we're,
The way you get nothing.
Yeah, we're not getting
I mean,
it
they might even
anyways.
come in with a payment. I mean, in this time, so anything's possible.
Basically, there's no lose.
Yes.
All right, we'll hold item 11. Moving on to item 12, resolution approving the 2017 open purchase order carryovers and fund transfers and fund balance designations.
Move approval.
A motion from Alderman Weigel and a second from Alderman
I'll second for discussion.
May. All right. Any discussions?
Mr. Chairman.
Alderman Chapleski.
Okay, I noticed something that I haven't noticed before in the carryover, where it looks like we're spending money instead of just carrying something over. We're actually coming up with other reasons to spend money. Like the mayor's $150,000. Where's that coming from? It's not budgeted. There's other items in there that weren't in the budget that we're spending the money for now. Why wasn't it in the budget? I mean, I can see that there's a few things like, I know the yard has a problem with the fueling station, that I understand. Chairs?
All very good questions. The only thing that was not correct is those things have been in before. They just haven't been outlined to you in this fashion. So
So it's not new
carryovers-
money?
It is new requests.
Oh, okay.
We've, for better or worse, had a tradition in the past. I'm just gonna be very honest with you, I call it budget round two, because that's kind of what some of this is. We're trying to minimize that right now, we're creating a CIP, we're trying to get departments to plan better at budget time. However, this has been the past practice. When we talked about the capital improvement program in the fall, council did do a directive, a formal action to take $723,500 out of this money to use for the 2018 CIP. That's in here. I also got a request from this committee to see if we could not borrow that $450,000 for the fire apparatus. We were able to fit that in here. I have it to be determined to see if there's anything that's going to be left for the 2019 CIP, because that was the third request we received. And then you are correct, there's a lot of things from the 2017 budget, but there's also other requests, but that's been very routine.
Never noticed it before.
Yeah, that's true.
Because Peggy's bringing it to our attention. Yes, Alderman May.
I was gonna highlight again, yeah, that was a past practice probably 2-3 years ago. And we got to a point where we said, enough is enough. Any carryovers automatically to the CIP and to be prioritized through the capital improvement plan. So I think since you've been on this committee, you probably may not have seen it like this, because I think in years past we just put it.
Down like that.
Right. And so a lot of these things are budgeted, but were not completed. Obviously, those are ones we need to carry over. The budgeted items that we intentionally budgeted when we came forward, knowing there were going to be carryovers, those make sense. The no more fire loan for the police, or for the fire truck, but the non-budgeted high priority, I think those are the ones you're mentioning, right? The desks and chairs at bins, the zoning code updates, those things. Those are the ones that you're mentioning, right? Okay.
Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
All right. Stand by. And item 13 is a communication from the Health Commissioner requesting authorization to promote the current employees of the Public Health Nurse Coordinator positions.
Move approval.
A motion
Second.
from Alderman Weigel and a second from Alderman Chaplesky. Discussion. I would like to point out my wife is a public health nurse. This does not affect my wife. If it did affect my wife, I would recuse myself and walk out of the room on this issue. Wow. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. And item 14.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Item
Mr. Chair?
15. Yes.
I move we place 15, 16, 17, and 18 on file.
Thank you.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. And can I have a motion to
Move to
adjourn?
adjourn.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we're adjourned. Thanks, everybody.
So do they have to take the fire truck back now?
Yeah.
Different fire.